Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence. I believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Mr. Victor Ogunmola, and we're going to talk about the importance of impact investing. Mr. Victor Ogunmola is the founder of iScholar initiative. So, without wasting time, we're just going to start. I want Mr. Victor Ogunmola to tell us about himself, to tell our viewers about himself. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dosin Adeniyi. It is nice to be here, and it is also very exciting to know what you are doing. So a little bit about myself. My name again is Victor Ogunmola. I'm a geologist, so I work in the upstream oil and gas industry. And in terms of education, of course, I attended a number of schools, and I've been pretty much focusing on geoscience. And of course, I'm married. After I got kids, we live in the US. And but the most important thing about me is the passion and the heart I have for the younger generation, especially the self-driven ones who aspire to take their career to the next level. So this is a natural passion for me, and rallying support among different partners, people who share the same vision in order to make the needed impact. This is something that is so dear to me. And that's just a little bit about me. And outside work, I enjoy playing soccer. I enjoy family time, road trip. So that's just a little bit about me. Thanks.
Interesting. Thanks so much, Mr. Victor. I want to ask these questions. Why did you choose geophysics out of all the courses in the world?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's geology actually. So
it's geology.
Yes. So coming to geology, I would say it's if accident is it's the right word to use. So a very brief history there. In Nigeria, you have to write what they call JAMB. That's Admission Matriculation Board Examination. That's what gets you into the university in those days. So I had completed my form. I had written the exam, and I've always wanted to be a pharmacist. So when I completed my form, I made the OAU pharmacy both first and second choices. So because in those days, I don't know what is obtainable now, but when you complete the application form, it gave you the opportunity to kind of indicate two courses. It could be the same or different courses. And then you can also choose two schools or just single school for the same program. Anyway, in my own case, when I completed my form, I indicated I wanted to study pharmacy, OAU first choice, pharmacy, OAU second choice. So, but I had already written the exam, and as we were awaiting the result, that was a day I was just combing through old books of my brothers. I just, got into their box of books. And there I stumbled on one, I can say it was like a pamphlet. And the title, if I remember correctly, is like career and what you need to do to kind of attain different types of career. So I started reading, flipping through the pages, and there I saw geology. It was the first time I would see that word. I didn't know what it is all about then. When I read a little bit about it, okay, if you want to become a geologist, then these are the subjects you have to offer. And the book will also talk about the prospect of when you graduate, the things you can possibly do. So there I see the number one listed is, okay, as a geologist, you can work in the oil and gas industry. I say, wow. And that was not really the motivation. The motivation was about a philanthropist who is from our neighboring town, Iju. I'm from Itaubolu. So this man, I've heard so much about him. And I've heard so much about what he was doing for his people. So, and I knew that he was working for oil and gas industry. So imagining myself in his image that, okay, so probably is enabled enough, and of course with a very good heart to be able to do all that he was doing for his people. So then, JAMB was still very good at that time, because all I needed to do was to go to their office, get a form, then you can do a change of course form or change of school. So I went to the JAMB office, they gave me the form, then I changed my second choice to geology footer, I applied geology. Then I still maintain my first choice, which is pharmacy for OAU. And coincidentally, when the result came, I was shocked of the cutoff. I think I scored 253, and the cutoff for that year was about 267 for my catchment area on those states. So anyway, I didn't even bother to process anything. I didn't go anywhere. I was in my house a couple of months later when the admission letter to study geoscience, I applied geology at FUTA came. I never went to FUTA to process it, but JAMB was still very good at that time. You didn't really, if you are not considered for your first choice, and based on your performance, automatically they can roll you into your second choice. I think at FUTA, geology for that year was around 230, 240. But I scored 257, so it was the right thing for me. And of course, I came to geology and I started loving it. And as they say, the rest is history. So I found myself in geology. Sorry, I took so much time to explain.
No problem. And you finally got a job in an oil and gas company, and you are doing great things like that man from your town, very close to your town. That is amazing, you know. And I know you're a person of faith. All things work good together for them that love the Lord and for them that are called according to His purpose. You know, fantastic. You know, today we're talking about the importance of impact investing. You know, I just finished a course at Abba Business School, 3-week course, sustainable business strategy. And if somebody tell us in one word the summary of the course, I would just say it is purpose. And that companies, when they believe in impact investing, they can solve big problems. So I just want to ask you, what do you think, from your own point of view, what does impact investing means, and how is it applicable in solving problems, you know, especially in Africa?
So impact investing, in my mind, means whatever you do, whatever contribution investment you make, to yield an outcome that will have positive returns on the people, on the economy. And here I would like to talk about human beings. When you invest in human beings, because to me, that's the greatest asset that any society can have. When you invest in people, especially the younger ones that are so driven, they are full of innovations, they are very creative. And for a society to move from point A to B, investing in such younger folks is you ensuring that the vision, the future you envision for your society is attained. So when you invest in a self-driven individual, for every society, family is the smallest unit. And the first thing is that individual can become independent in terms of it's not depending on the society anymore. That one is an achievement. The fact that you are not living on public or you are not a nuisance. An investment in an individual can make that happen. Then that individual can as well move ahead to even begin to affect his immediate society.
Yeah.
By minding the gap for others, by providing intervention where it is needed for folks that are also at the verge of, dropping off the ladder. They could be, such folks could be the angels that the vulnerable ones we need, even within their immediate environments. That is even at the macro level. Then when you invest in people, and especially for someone who will take the very best of advantage of such investments, we can be talking about affecting the whole world. We all see the effect of technology in everything we do in this part of, in the whole world today. It takes the innovation of individuals who, either their parents or the society. We have a lot of non-for-profit organizations who make investments in individuals, maybe by funding their programs at the university. And you can see the outcome or the impact that those individuals are making. We are having this meeting now through Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So, some people made this happen.
Absolutely.
Now, imagine the impact of this. It is from, so when you invest in people, what it means is you are building that society, that future that you want, that ideal future that you want a society to be. Because when you build an individual, they are not just good enough to be able to be independent and not living on the public fund or public assistance, but they have the potential to also impact the society in a very special way that will be beneficiary to many. So that is what I will categorize as impact investment or investing, as you said.
Yeah, I really believe that investing in people, very, very important. And you are doing that through your initiative called iScholar initiative. You are investing in people. You helping them to get from point A to point B. You letting them know what you know and what they don't know. Can you tell us more about iScholar initiative? Why did you start it? And also tell us some of the impacts. I know there are a lot. You can just share a few with us.
Yeah. So thank you. Well, I try not to say I started the iScholar initiative.
I'm asking is that we've talked about impact investing, which is about investing in people. And I know you are someone that is doing that through the initiative that you started, iScholar initiative. iScholar initiative that you started. I want you to tell us why did you start iScholar initiative, and you can also tell us some of the impacts of the initiative so far.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say that just like anybody, we are passionate. Most of us are passionate about the growth and development of others. And when it comes to iScholar initiative, I wouldn't categorize myself as starting it, because what is something that each and every one of us has been doing as an individual, right? But I think what is different here is providing a platform for people of common passion that we are interested in the same thing, being interested in the future of our younger folks, and coming together to make a greater impact, as opposed to just individuals doing it in their own little corners. So what really brought about iScholar initiative? I left Nigeria in 2005 on scholarship for grad school in the UK. And I got a PTDF scholarship. That was a Petroleum Technology Development Fund overseas scholarship. And I remember that year, the application was on for about 6 weeks. And I think it was $2,500 2,500 Naira to obtain the form. I couldn't raise this fund until maybe 2-3 days before the closing of the application. And eventually I got the form and I went through the process and I got selected and I got funded, fully funded. And when I reflect on this, looking at the value of that scholarship, which by my own reckoning, in the course of my program, it amounted to about £50,000. And we are talking about 2005, 2006. £50,000. However, lack of 2,500 Naira, which I believe is less than $2 at that time, was less than $2. I mean, let's say today's money. Maybe we say $10. Let's just say $10. Because if I had not had the $10, there is no way I would have been connected to £50,000 worth of scholarship.
Absolutely.
So that's one part. I like to say that iScholar initiative came to being by a product of life experience. And that is the life experience for me, on one hand. On the other hand, by a passion, a drive to develop a solution-driven society. And what do I mean by that? We have a lot of young, smart, intelligent folks around that could actually be a solution to many of our problems in this nation, Nigeria. Yes. These guys are smart, they are creative, they are driven, they are full of energy, full of ambition that the nation can't just wait so that they can begin the work of development in the nation. So we have these folks. Then connecting my life experience with this abundance of talent, the availability of talent around us, and saying that there are a lot of these talents that because of 2,500 Naira, they will never be able to leverage on the available opportunity. So try to mind the gap, connecting them. What is the gap between them and the opportunity that they can potentially get? It is what really brought about iScholar initiative. And the fact that a lot of people, a lot of panel, like-minded people, we have our BOT folks that are fully accomplished in their own individual ways. We have our management team, people that are they are passionately doing stuff as if it is their day job. And we have scholars that are so driven that the little investment you put in them, they are putting it into very, very great use. And we have a host of partners. The folks that give us money to fund this program, the folks that help to mentor these scholars, the folks that help to help with the identification and selection process. So we have a lot of people working. It is not just me. We might have started there, but if the idea has not received the level of support from all these folks, then it wouldn't have seen the light of the day. So in terms of our results, we are proud and at the same time we are humbled. iScholar initiative started without a name in 2019, third quarter. We did not officially become iScholar initiative until first quarter of 2020. But guess what? From 2019 July to date, this is March of 2021. we are at the verge of sponsoring 120 scholars for their standardized tests for grad school, and of course, providing quality mentorship. And in terms of the real-time results, among our 2019 scholars, over 80% of them have gotten fully funded offers into different universities, the majority of them in the US and the rest of them in the rest of the world. And to really put this into perspective, for example, in the US, when you get a fully funded offer for master program, we are talking about an average of $80,000 to $150,000 in funding in the course of your program. Our little investment of maybe average of $600 plus the mentorship and guardianship help them to secure that. And if you are offering an admission for PhD program, in terms of dollar value, we are talking about anything from $300,000 to $450,000 in the course of your program. And remember, a lot of these scholars, without that intervention of maybe $600 initial investment, and plus the mentorship, there is no way they will have gotten the opportunity to be fully funded for these programs. We are talking of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So then for our 2020 scholars, because in 2019 we sponsored 20, in 2020 we sponsored 50. For our 2020 scholars, there are different levels, different phases of their admission process now. And as of today, I can say that at least 20 plus have actually gotten fully funded offer. Maybe another 10 has gotten offer, they are waiting fund decisions. So we are moving on. And of course, we are right in the middle of the process as we speak. So our application window closed a couple of weeks ago. And right now, we have over 40 reviewers assessing all the applications submitted. We received almost 1,000 applications this year. And the plan is also to sponsor another 50. And this year, we are not just going to be paying for their standardized tests. We are not just going to be mentoring them, but we are also paying for their application fees. You know, when you apply to school, you pay application fees. And that is where we are today, but that's not the end of the story. And,
it's amazing what you're doing. But where do you see iScholar initiative in 10 years' time?
Yes, thank you. That's a very great question. We run an organization that has a blueprint, I would say. And the least we can do is, we don't even have any option than to be excellent in everything we do. So talking about our projection, into 5 years, 10 years. Today, we are just covering Nigeria. In another 1 or 2 years, the next plan is to cover the entire Africa.
Africa, that's great.
To the entire Africa.
That's great.
I said, even though our model is to help these kids, these scholars, to mentor them, to empower them by paying for their standardized tests and their application fees, so that they will be in a position to take advantage of the scholarships that are available out there. Part of our vision is, even when we have done all this, if we still have any scholar that is unfunded, that hasn't gotten a scholarship, it is our plan that we should be in a position to be able to fully fund them for everything. You want to do a 5-year PhD program. We want to be in a position to be able to say, okay, we are doing it for you, funding you. So that's our vision. And in the long run, like I said initially, we are doing all this for the sake of the society. We are not just empowering these scholars to be good to themselves, but we want them to reflect well on the society in terms of our developmental goals. So what we are doing is very strategic. It's making strategic investment into the future of the nation. So we believe at a point, because the greatest thing on our mind is sustainability. This is an organization that is not built around individual. As I'm here in Nigeria, a lot of our operation is ongoing. People are doing what they have to do to keep the business running. And we are so confident that in the near future, iScholar Initiative is going to become an household name. It's going to go to organization, to the career development for our younger generation. And we are so confident that even the scholars of today, they are going to become the partners tomorrow.
Yes.
In fact, we have started piloting such vision. Most of our 2019 scholars are going to be part of our mentoring team going forward. From 2021. So we are building an organization that will be successful and will be able to achieve all that we have set, the goals we have set for ourselves to achieve.
That's fantastic. I like that. You know, when you were talking, I was also thinking about the ripple effect. You know, it's like you are starting a ripple effect. When you do a good, other people will also continue to do that kind of good that you're doing. And I know that before we started the recording, I said I'm positive about the future of Nigeria because we are also building an inclusive society. It's part of building an inclusive society, trying to give back to the people, telling them what greatness is. Greatness is not the amount of money in your bank account, not the houses that you have, but it's serving people. And that's what you are doing with iScholar Initiative, serving the public, serving these young people. And you are sowing a seed that you're telling them, I did it for you when you are in a position to do it for other people. What I have done to you, you should do it for others. And I'm sure that they are also going to be doing that. Very, 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 very fantastic idea. What you guys are doing with your initiative. I want to ask you this question. You know, I know a lot of young people will be watching this video. I want to ask you, what is the advice you will give to your 21-year-old person?
So the advice I will give to 21-year-old person is I would like to reflect on my own life. Because I would say yes, we have different backgrounds, and we have different spectrum in terms of the opportunity that's available to individuals. You have people who have everything in place. You have people who just have enough. You have people who have sparingly, and you have people who have none. So the worst place you could be is having none. And I think that was where I was, right, at 21. And if there is anyone that needs motivation to do anything, I would think it is the people at that end of the stick, you know, where there isn't any opportunity at all. So that is what would drive my advice. Do it right, number one. Anything you are doing, anything that is worth your time, do it well. If it is 1 minute of your time, then if it has to take your time, do it well. Then I need not remind our younger folks that your future is not tomorrow. Your future begins today. Because whatever you do today, who I am today is a product of everything I did yesterday. So it is not tomorrow that you are running after, that you have to begin to do what will make that future a fulfilling one. So all I'm saying is, for a 21-year-old, invest in yourself. Prioritize what is important. if you know you come from a background like myself, maybe that smartphone may not be the number one thing. You are trying to get into NYSC, national, you should begin to think about, okay, what is next after graduation? And you want to move, you want to relate with people who is better than you, who can add value to you. You want to make sure you are more concerned about the future than the present. And that will require a lot of sacrifice. It may mean that you want to deny yourself of some luxury today in order to be able to do what will be valuable to that future that you envision. For example, during service year, I knew I was going to do master after. Of course, I also knew I would be applying for jobs. But I know applying for job is not a job on its own. So I saved up for exams. I saved for my master's. So as a young guy today, there is no amount of investment that will be too much for your future, because when the future eventually comes, you will enjoy it. But if you have not made that investment now, then there is nothing to talk about the future. Because it's just like your piggy bank. If you put nothing there, you can't catch nothing at the end of the day. So the more investment you make. So I would say, as a young guy, you need a mentor. Move with people who know better, who can advise you appropriately. People who align with what you want to do. Find somebody who has been successful in what you are still thinking about. Because sometimes you don't really need to invent a lot of wheels. Now, if you're a young guy, unlike our days, the amount of resources that are available to you today is limitless. Get yourself soaked in acquiring knowledge, information, regarding whatever you want to do. Even when you have a mentor, make sure you are your mentor's favorite. And how do you become your mentor's favorite? If you are the type that comes prepared, before you even talk to your mentor, you already have idea of all you need to know. And this information is available to you. Go online. You can actually help your mentor to think. And the more you bring to the table, the more you get from a mentor. You have to be able to ask intelligent questions that will generate a lot of helpful and valuable response. Then, you want to, priority is important, like I talked about. You get to have your priority right. You have to have the clarity about what you actually want and how you can get into it.
Very interesting what you said. You really mentioned the importance of mentoring. Mentoring is very, very important. And also, there's a lot of information. I tell my students these days that they have a lot of information on their fingertip. If Google is there for you, ask a lot of things. Recently, I was sharing with people about Michael Saylor's school, open school, free. There are a lot of Coursera courses that are free that you can take online, learn a lot of information. So young people these days don't have any skills. And you also mentioned something that I really liked about, this is how I want to call it. Pain today, gain tomorrow. It's very, very important for, like what you did. You said you were saving. You could have used the money to buy maybe jeans, wonderful sneaker. But instead, you were saving the money, planning to use it to do something that will add to your life. I think it's very, very important what you've said. I really like that. I'm so excited about what you guys are doing, especially with the iScholar initiative. You're really making a wonderful impact in the life of these young people. Is there any other thing you still want to add?
Yeah, so once again, I thank you for this opportunity. You are doing a very, very great thing as well. Well, what I will say is, I believe everybody has gotten something to offer in life. So, and I know the harvest is much, but the laborers are so few. So today, for example, iScholar, we have over 70 partners, running all these operations and trying to make impact. But I believe that's just like a drop in the ocean. So there are folks out there. So I just want to say that a lot of people like to help. They like to invest in people. But nobody likes to throw money around. So iScholar Initiative is a platform that provides a bridge. If you are passionate about this, the professionally run organization is with reputable, but it's your opportunity. If your passion is to invest in these young people, helping them in their career, and we continue to broaden the opportunity for all our scholars and the ones to come. So I just want to say that you've gotten such a platform to reach out to scholars. So, and I also want to mention that I remain very humbled and so grateful to every one of our partners. Without them, there won't be iScholar Initiative. Our board of trustees, the BOT chair and our members, our MC, the management committee team, all our partners, and of course, the scholars themselves, because no matter how much you invest in them, if they are not making the best use of the opportunity, then there's nothing to reference. So my last word is just to say that we are just a messenger, rallying support around a common purpose. And for the fact that people are so receptive to that and they are giving the best to impart these lives, I think that's very humbling. So I thank you for this opportunity once again.
You're welcome, Mr. Victor Ogunmola. Yeah, I want to ask a question. What is the website of iScholar Initiative when people want to get across to you?
Yeah, thank you. So we have different ways that people get across to us. The website of them is www, or you use HTTP it's iScholarInitiative.org, iScholarInitiative.org. And of course, we have pages on all the social media platforms. On LinkedIn, you find us on as iScholar Initiative. Then on Facebook, it's the same name, iScholar Initiative. I think on Instagram is iScholar Initiative. On Twitter, you find us as iScholar Initiative 1. So we have presence all over the place, and we also have a different numbers of WhatsApp platform, depending on, we have different groups, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So information is easily shared, and yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic. I just want to thank you so much for doing this interview with me, for sharing with us about impact investing and what you're doing. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, I'm sure that you've learned one or two things today. We've talked about the importance of impact investing. There's something you can do. You have something to share with people. And if you want to contribute to iScholar Initiative, I believe in them. Go ahead and do it. I believe in the future of Africa, and I know Africa is going to do well. God bless Africa. God bless you, everyone, for tuning in. See you some other time. God bless you. Bye.